Hello, world, and welcome to 3 from the 7, Relix's weekly news podcast chronicling 3 of our biggest stories from the past 7 days. I'm Relix Associate Editor Rafaela Kenny Sincata, and I am joined, as always, the reason you're probably here, Karina Reichman!
Oh! Yeah, baby.
How are you, Karina?
I'm great, Raph. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I had a hell of a weekend. What did you do this weekend?
This was my weekend off. I was super off the grid. I went to my dear friend's country house up in Rhinebeck, New York. Very chill. Didn't do much. I saw Shaky Graves at Levon Helm's studio. That was
very nice.
That was the event. You know what I mean? The rest was boogie chillin', man. Boogie chillin'.
Nice. We have a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah.
We've got J-Rad. We've got Phish. We've got Mr. Bobby Weir. And there's a lot to talk about, but the main thing I want to talk about is Phish Mexico, which is our first story of the week, because there is so much that went down south of the border with the Phish boys. I think they made this a must-attend event now, Karina.
I think so.
Initial reactions. You said you had a dream about Mexico. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, Karina's like, I had a stress dream about Phish Mexico, which I guess is proof that it was good.
Well, this is a completely self-centered, it's more about me than it is.
Exactly. I'm literally like putting on glasses and being like you're like your therapist. I'm like, well, tell me about your dream. Let's tease
I'll give
this
you
out.
the very, very, the shortened version of it. But long story short, Trey and I are walking from what seems like a beautiful street in Tulum to the venue, and he's like, Karina, you should really sit in tonight. And I'm like, Trey, no, I don't, no, you guys do it. And then he's like, no, but we play Heartbeats, which I know you do with Marco, which is a cover of The Knife that we do with Marco. And I'm like, oh, really? You play Heartbeats now? No way. All right, sounds good. And then I get up there. This is cut to the chase.
Smash cut. Karina's on stage.
Daytime set, by the way, and it looks like some Laguna Beach fucking crazy Soho house. I don't even know what it looks like, but there's infinity pools and all these techs aren't doing their jobs and they're just cooking butts and in hammocks and shit. It's really some next level scenery. But then I get up there and I go and Trey just goes, hey, so we're gonna play Making Flippy Floppy by the Talking Heads, and I'm just like, oh shit, what about Heartbeats? And he's like, Heartbeats? What are you talking about?
Oh no.
And I'm like, he's like, you don't know Making Flippy Floppy? I'm like, I do.
And then he
but
goes 5,
tell
6,
me the
7, 8.
Not even, but literally, and then he's trying to teach me the song on stage in front of all these people, and you just start to hear these resounding boos from the audience, and I literally am so shaking trying to figure out the song, and he's just getting more and more annoyed with me as he's trying to tell me it's A to G, blah blah blah, and I'm like, and then I got so upset I woke up.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ. So you see, it's not really about Phish Mexico. It's more about my own paranoid fantasy of being called to sit in with someone and not knowing the song.
It's your own fear of just dropping the ball up there.
Exactly. It's a real, it's a self-centered dream. But that has nothing to do with Phish in Mexico. This was a great time.
Yeah, right? I do feel like there's a lesson in there for everybody that even Karina Reichman, rock star, gets nervous, gets these weird dreams.
That's my cross to bear. I think I just am oh God, what if I don't know, the Neil Young song I'm supposed to play, or the stuff that everybody's supposed to know. I should really know. Anyway, it's my problem, not yours, everybody.
Karina woke up that morning and learned Making Flippy Floppy by the Talking Heads. Did you really?
Well, I listened to it. I was like, oh, I know this.
You're I would have slayed this.
Yeah. I was it was cool. It was so. It was very hurtful. His reaction was hurtful. The band was what? And all these people were boo.
It's Karina sucks.
Karina sucks. So that was just anyway, that's my cross to bear.
What actually happened in Mexico?
What actually happened was sick. Talk to me, Raph.
Well, I streamed the show Friday night, which is always a pleasure, a couch tour. Highlights, opening version of the Rolling Stones, Torn and Frayed off Exile on Main Street. Last time played 7-7-12 with a show gap of 285. Starting the runoff on fire, crazy bust out. They played their first Shake Your Coconuts on Thursday night. They played a long single set, which is always a pleasure. There was a Rescue Squad shout out and Free, which you gotta love. But my highlight from night one was the Landlady transition into Destiny Unbound. Oh my God, Karina. I'm sitting there on our friend's couch, and literally when they slid right into Destiny Unbound, Landlady and Destiny Unbound end and begin on the same note. So it's a no pause transition.
Right.
It just snaps right in. First time they've played that transition since 1991. Karina, this is before we were born.
Before we were born. We're dating ourselves, Raph, but it's good. It's a good kind of dating.
I have no shame about being young.
It's a good thing.
People
it's a
hate on
good
us
thing.
because we're young. And I think it's awesome because I got all my best years ahead of me.
That's
baby.
right. That's right, Raph. That's absolutely right. No, that is super blaze of fire, as one would say.
As the people say.
As the people say. And, it was the longest free of the 3.0 era. Can we talk about that? And
I love that.
Free was phenomenal.
And it's funny because I always eat my words with free because a lot of times a set one free, I'm like, all right, it's a little typical. You hear it a lot. But then I always end up eating my words because like 5 minutes into it, they're like doing the breakdown. And then this one, they had teases of like Your Pet Cat. Or no, it wasn't Your Pet Cat. It was some chilling, thrilling, Shipwrecked. Chilling, thrilling, Shipwrecked.
Right.
And the Rescue Squad shout out. So super cool, super deep free, which is always great. So that was night one, long set, amazing. Night two, their fourth ever performance of the Who's Sea and Sand, obviously shouting stuff out, and brought back Shafty for the first time since 2012, which I know a lot of people, the setlist nerds, were really hoping for this run. Weaved in and out of set one, very, very cool. Night three, Little Feat's Wildin', first time since they did Waiting for Columbus on Halloween. I think just the set lists this weekend were just absolutely unreal. Phish really on the ball. And like I said earlier, I think they're really making Mexico like a can't miss event.
This is great. I mean, and obviously they're putting so much, work into it and like thinking really like, what songs could we bust out? What could we do? Shafty Night was so fun. I don't know. It really seems like they've like taken to it as a destination event and, played, songs that really kind of suit the occasion, which is great.
And then we're recording this on a Monday, so this happened just last night. They ended the entire run with a 6-song encore, Rise Come Together, Into the Horse, Into Silent in the Morning, then Fee, Funky Bitch, and more. Love it. I love the Horse and Silent in the Morning. It's a bit of a tearjerker for me. But then the big thing, Karina, we talked about this right before we started recording, that Trey called the crowd mediocre, but didn't really, and now it's like a whole big thing. Karina, from the ground, as a fan, what are you thinking about this?
I mean,
so
I understand his point. Let's face it. What are we talking about here? I mean, we need to all take a mirror. No, I'm just
yeah, right. So I think what he meant was like, so basically, I have the direct quote here, but I'm not going to read it all out. But essentially, Trey had said something along the lines of like, "Oh, now that the house lights are on, I can actually see you guys." And I was expecting Instagram models out there like Fire Festival, but we're mediocre and you're mediocre, and we're all mediocre together. And I think that's kind of great. And also, like, let's not fool ourselves. Like, Phish fans are all a bunch of nerds, myself included. Like, I'm mediocre. I'm a dork. I mean, it's like in Bittersweet Motel where that one guy in Europe is like, if you're gonna be a dork, you might as well just embrace being a dork and like live your truth or whatever.
Sure. And like the term jam band hot.
I've never heard that before.
Well, I have. And it's what it is. What are we talking about? I mean, let's not, everybody's beautiful.
Yeah, right? That's true.
Everybody in this world
Love and light.
Love and light, brother. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I don't know. I wouldn't get so twisted up about that comment because, but it is funny because Trey never says, anything controversial like that anymore.
It's funny because he said it before Divided Sky, then they played Divided Sky, and afterwards he was like, I don't want to belabor the point, but I wasn't calling you guys mediocre, and immediately felt guilty about it. And as someone who says dumb things and then immediately feels guilty about it often, on this podcast included, Trey, I feel you, dog.
I really do feel you.
He made a bad joke,
I get paid to urinate in people's ears.
Come on, that's the guy.
That's the guy, and it
in the grand scheme of Trey saying dumb things, this is like a 1 out of 10,
And it's not a big deal, everybody. And then the people who are like, yo, what? Did Trey, you're on a beautiful beach in Mexico, and I get the point. It's like, the Fire Fest, you hire all these Instagram models that are coming down here riding on fucking jet skis and sucking down pina coladas like their planes are going down. That's a whole look. Anyway, I understand you, Trey. It's totally cool. And I say things that I regret all the time. Yeah. It's great. It's great. That's why I have a podcast with Raph, actually.
Exactly.
It's like,
That's why our producers are constantly holding their breath.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to our second story of the week, which actually passed perfectly with my weekend. J-Rad at the Capitol Theater here in wonderful New York. Actually up at Portchester, if you want to be all technical about it.
Baby, baby.
Nice.
Baby, baby.
They played 3 nights. Amazing. I was there on Saturday. Unreal. Karina, you obviously have a connection with the J-Rad boys, your friend Mr. Marco Benevento. Did you have your ear to the ground with these sets at all? You weren't there for any of them, though.
I sat this one out, I've seen more J-Rad shows than I could count, and I love it very dearly. But yeah, I decided to take the chill road this weekend. This looked amazing. It's always amazing, and I love Katie Jacoby and Scott Metzger getting married, and we love that. Big ups to my dear friends. Yeah. Couldn't happen to nicer people, you know.
Katie said in night one, it was really cool. The marquee at the Capitol Theater said, "Congrats, Scott and Katie, on their new engagement." She sat in for Lonesome Whistle Blues, which was kind of made famous by Bob Dylan, but written by Hank Williams. Night two, which is when I was there, massive set to Estimated Prophet, Jack Straw, Life is a Carnival by the band, then Cats Under the Stars. Oh boy, Karina.
A lot.
Like, the stage was levitating, the walls were melting.
Yeah,
what can I say?
Can you tell us about your experience at the Cap on Saturday, Rob?
I'm talking to Karina earlier, and I'm like, I was at J-Rad on Saturday. It was highly spiritual.
So we'd like to draw that one out of you. What do you got? I told you my fucked up dream. Self-centered.
Let's just say I had a very good time with some very good friends and stayed up until about 5 a.m.
Yeah, baby.
That's my girl.
And honestly, the show started early and ended early this weekend, which I know a lot of people appreciated. They were on stage by 8:15, off stage by midnight. On Saturday in particular, they ended the show and then house music came up, and it was just like the Talking Heads hits, and this like mob of people like stayed in the venue, just like myself included, dancing to the Talking Heads. And my buddy turns to me and he's just like, "Man, there's ways to get hippies out of a venue, and this is a way to keep hippies in the venue."
It's a good thing.
People did not want to leave because Talking Heads bumped through the Cap. It's the best.
It's a good way to make an extra $10K at the bar after the show ends.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ!
Shout out to our man Peter Shapiro, very smart man. Keep the hippies in the building, keep them drinking, keep them buying. We know.
Pete's the man.
It's a beautiful thing.
Shapiro 2020.
Hey,
He's got my vote.
he's got all of our votes.
And a good friend of Mr. Pete Shapiro, Mr. Jimmy Fallon, made an appearance on night 3 of the Cap. It's what everyone's talking about.
Row Jimmy.
Row Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy Fallon's almost dead. Jimmy Fallon and Chris Hartford sat in for the encore on night 3. They played Fucking Up by Neil Young, which then transitioned into Jimmy kind of steering the band into Born to Run, and then steering them back into Hey Jude, and then steering them back into Fucking Up. It was a wild adventure. People who were there said it was certainly a vibe and a party, and I wish I was there. I had FOMO, even though I did night 2.
Sure. I would have loved to have seen that. I'd love to see just J-Rad suddenly turn into the Roots and Jimmy Fallon turn into their fearless leader.
Yeah, if you catch it this summer, Jimmy Fallon's almost dead. 20 dates, coast to coast.
Put it in all the sheds. Raph and I, it's actually a Raph and Karina production, and
Yes.
we are now illustrious promoters. We've teamed up with both AEG and Live Nation. Squash the beef, huge budget, shit's going down. I can't even tell you who the openers are, but you'll wait. There's a, it's a big announcement.
It's unreal. Chris Carota will be running lights. Owsley will be running sound.
Whoa.
Wall of Sound coming back.
You didn't bring that up with me.
It's awaiting approval.
Is that in the budget?
From the Owsley estate.
Shit.
But you can keep it up. Keep your eye open. It's a Raph Kenny Sincata, Karina Reichman, Peter Shapiro, Live Nation, CEG presents.
AEG.
AEG. My bad.
Very
AEG
close.
presents.
Jesus Christ!
It's all good, though. It's all love.
I'm getting an email about that
It's
one.
all
after
love.
this.
You definitely are. Okay, moving right along.
Moving right along, our third story of the week, Headcount. Our friends at Headcount are running an amazing contest to win a workout with Mr. Bob Weir. As we all know, in the last year, Bob's getting buff. He's lifting weights. He's got leg day. He's got arm day. There's this type of motion. If you're listening on audio, I'm kind of lifting my arms in a certain way.
She looks great.
Right? Can you tell I work out all the time?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like a running, but anyway, for $10 you can donate. You can do a donation to Headcount, kind of throw your name in the hat, and then the prize is to work out with Bob and then get flown, you and a friend, at any show and get a VIP experience. If I won, I'd kind of pass on the workout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're all talking about it in the office, and I'm like, the worrisome thing is I think Bob is in incredibly good shape, and I think he's gonna like make people look bad.
Well, sure, but that you're being made to look like a fool, like by Bobby. Like that's kind of cool.
That's true.
Honestly, Raph, I've never ever been tempted by a sweepstakes of any sort ever in my life. Never, not one sweepstakes. But this one,
Never once.
Never once. I don't like them.
Never bought a lottery ticket.
I don't
never
like
a
them.
scratch off.
No sweepstakes. Remember last week? No stickers. Don't ever fucking enter me in a goddamn sweepstakes. All right, I need your sweepstakes. What? Anyway, but this one, I'm going to walk over to Andy Bernstein's office right next door after this and, put $10 and my name in a hat. Because I'd really like to work out with Bobby, actually. I think that's a really appealing...
Karina's going to kick down the door and throw a roll of quarters at him. Say,
Yeah.
there's my $10, you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. Put my name in the hat, all right? I'm ready to get swole and sing some cowboy songs while we do it.
That's
so,
true.
I don't
Blue
know.
Mountain on blast.
I think it's a great call. I'm ready to fucking go to Lululemon after this and get
true.
myself a whole new wardrobe.
Now that I'm thinking about it for the gram, that's just like high-level
huge.
content.
Huge.
That's great for the gram.
Dude, I mean, I'm telling you, fuck every other sweepstakes. Every other sweepstakes, you can eat a bag because this is some next level shit. Honestly, I really believe that. So good on you, Andy. And our friends at Headcount, we share an office with them. By we, I mean Raph, because I do not work here. I'm a sole proprietor here.
Karina's an independent contractor.
It's totally cool. It's totally cool.
Karina Reichman Incorporated.
Thank you. Karina Inc. Yeah, it's actually, I am.
is.
It's my S-Corp.
I was just like, damn, Karina told me that once. You're like, yo, I'm like an incorporated business. I was like, damn, girl.
If you'd like to send any Venmo payments to at Karina Reichman.
She's
it'll
not a
be-
businesswoman. She's a business woman.
Oh, snap. Yeah, all payments will be processed by Karina Incorporated. And I wish I was kidding. I'm not. So, yeah, I really like this, Raph. This is good. This
You
is
can
definitely
enter
good.
at Prizeo, Prizeo, and you can donations start at $10, but you can go all the way up, and the more money you donate, the more entries, blah, 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 blah. But very cool. As I said, I don't think I would want to do it, but people who do, good for you. And you can also win. There's like weights that have lightning bolts on them that you can win and all that cool stuff.
I'm going to sell stock so I can enter this. And
You're going to liquidate your assets?
I'm going to liquidate everything. I'm going to ski 365 days a year. And I'm going to, I don't even ski. But this is huge for me.
Quick aside, I'm actually going skiing for the first time in 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ!
I know. First time ever. God help me. And I am absolutely terrified.
Do you know pizza French fries?
Pizza French fry, I do know.
Pizza French fries.
Pizza French
For those of
fry.
you watching at home, those of you listening, you should just Google pizza French fries ski terminology that they teach children.
Terrified I'm gonna break my wrist and then I just can't work.
No, that's why I don't do it. Because same, girl, same.
Dude, it's gonna be me on the podcast with a full upper body cast, just
I'd like to say right here on the podcast that if you fuck up your hands skiing, I will absolutely come into work for at least 2 weeks and type for you.
You'll be my scribe.
Absolutely. You just dictate to me. If you dictate, I'll be your scribe. No
God,
problem.
talk about great Instagram content.
Why don't you shake my hand on that? Yep.
Shake your hand on that?
For those of you listening, she
That's
should just
legally,
really shake.
This is legally binding in the state of New York.
Legal tender.
That is legally binding. That's a verbal contract.
That is a straight up verbal contract. And
Now I'm gonna try and break my neck.
No. First of all, also, God forbid.
No, really, knock on wood, I would be totally screwed. Editor-in-chief Mike Greenhouse would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I would do that for you, though. I would quite literally, and I mean that, because this is a partnership.
Family.
This is
We're
a part.
blood.
After we go off the air, this runs really deep. So don't think that I'm full of shit. And I would absolutely scribe for you, Rap. I would.
Karina.
I totally would. So have a great time skiing. Where are you going?
Thank you.
Verbier?
Stratton in Vermont.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so Vermont, Phish country, so it should be fun. My plan is 2 bunny hills and then just get drunk in the lodge, and I think that's probably the
It's
best
called
way to do it.
après
That's
ski.
what I've heard, the après.
I think you'll be great at that.
I'm stoked though. I'm gonna be really heady on the mountain. I'm gonna literally, I'm planning on wearing a Grateful Dead shirt over my winter coat, and then I'm gonna do tie-dye bandana. So if you're at Stratton in 2 weeks and you see tie-dye bandana and a dope Grateful Dead t-shirt over a jacket, that's Raph from 3 from the 7.
Yo, we are going to have to put a RAF sample in the Roadcaster Pro that just says, I'm going to get really heady on the mountain or whatever.
Heady on the mountain.
I'd like to hit that, forever. So that's really good.
Producer Will Schwerd, who is listening, chop it up, baby.
Hey.
Smash it up. Well, anyway, moving on. We do have a shout out this week, Mr. Alex Ebert from Edward Sharp and the Mad X Zeros. He has a little bit of something to say, so roll the tape.
Hello, this is Alex Ebert, or Alex A. Bear. You be the judge. You're listening to 3 from the 7. Go check out my new album, I vs. I, by the way. It's incredible. I vs. I. Or check out my performance on the Colbert Show. Yeah. It was so weird, they almost didn't let us do it. No. Should we have done it? I don't know. You be the judge. You always are.
Thank you so much, Alex. Awesome. I hope that freeze frame was good.
I think it was.
Nice.
I think it was.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Alex. New album out. Fantastic. There's a new feature on him in the latest issue of Relix Magazine. Speaking of Relix Magazine, you should subscribe to it, fam. Relix.com/subscribe. If you want to hear all this amazing content and more directly into your email inbox, Relix.com/daily. Subscribe to that Daily 7. You can email us at raffandkarina@gmail.com. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at 3from7. And then the one last thing I want to mention is that Karina and I will both be at NYU on March 11th for an amazing Phish symposium called The Resounding Echoes Grow, organized by both of our pal, Isaac Sloan. It's a day full of panels and talks about Phish and all the wonderfulness that is Phish. I will be leading a panel at 3:45. It will end with a performance by Ms. Karina Reichman and her band, Mr. Adam November and Mr. Chris Corsico. Very, very cool. It's free and open to the public March 11th right here in wonderful New York City. Karina, anything else to add before we bid our friends adieu here?
This felt really good, Raph. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
What else you got going on in your life, Karina? Because you are like on a bit of a break. This is like a winter vacation for you.
Well,
so what are your goals for your winter vacation?
Well, I'm playing Boise this weekend. I'm playing.
You told me you were off.
What do you mean? I'm just off last weekend. I play Boise this weekend on Saturday, something called the Snow Fort Fest. The week after, Marco and I fly to Miami, play a private event at a very luxe mansion in Miami Beach. A great place.
Shimmy, yeah, shimmy,
dude,
yay.
a little shimmy and a conga line, you know what I'm saying? And then we play a show in Miami proper, I think, Arts Park, something or other. Should be great. Then the Gasparilla Festival, that's the following weekend, you know. Then there's Brooklyn Comes Alive. This is all the same, you know.
Yeah, same
I'm
shit,
on a
different
grind
day.
here. Yeah, it's
grind.
great. It's all
Can
great.
I just pause and just ask a follow-up question
Yeah.
about this so-called private event? For these types of events, like, do they get to pick the set list or you pick the set list?
Well, if they do, I haven't received it yet, so that I don't have any stress dreams about that,
Yeah,
I would
right.
probably submit it sooner rather than later.
So, like, say I hire Marco Benevento, Karina Reichman, any of your projects
Sure.
for a private event. If for any amount of money, you'll play anything?
Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
So I could be like, I want to hear Rush's 2112 in its entirety for me. I'm an eccentric millionaire. For me, alone, in my home, no one else there, just me. You would do it?
Well, let me tell you, Raph, everything has a price. Everything has a price.
That's
You know what I'm
showbiz,
saying?
baby.
Everything's for sale. Everything's for sale.
And anyone who says that it's not
Is lying.
just hasn't met their number yet.
Hey, exactly. So, for the right price, no question. I'd learn that
Awesome.
shit.
All
yeah.
you eccentric millionaires out there, you know where to find her.
Yo, we're talking audio files, we're talking Dow, we're talking NASDAQ, we're talking hedge funds.
We're
no
talking
problem.
old money, new money, medium money,
Whatever
small
you
money,
got.
big money.
Yo, liquid, frugal. We got all the terms here.
We're
Yeah.
talking hedge funds. We're talking, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all great.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
it's all
sell.
vague.
We're gonna sell stock and then work out with Bob Weir. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, dude, I'm in.
That's how rich I want to be.
I'm buying my first power suit at some point this week, so I'm halfway there.
Look at you.
Yeah, for the NYU thing.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be dope.
This is huge.
Now I feel obligated to buy one because people are gonna show up and be like, "Where's the power suit?"
No, now this makes it real
It does make it real.
because they'll call you out on your shit.
Yeah, they will. Be like, "Boo, no power suit."
That'll be the stress dream that you have tonight.
Oh my god, I had a stress dream the other night, but I'm not gonna get.
Don't
into
even
it.
get it.
I'm not gonna get into
Or
it.
do.
I dreamt I lost my dog and then I found it. It's not really
No, sister, no.
great. I know, but then I found it, so I guess it wasn't.
Oh, good. That ended well.
It did end well, much like this podcast, which is ending right now. Everybody have a wonderful week. Karina, final words of wisdom.
That's
anything?
all. That's all.
If you can't be
Good, be honest.
nice, have a good weekend, everybody.